It is all self-explanatory. And what isn't? You know, what you don't understand, don't hang in with it. Just keep going. Because basically, this is the first draft. And I'm only going to read the beginning, obviously. I'm not going to read the 300 pages. It really would be just yeah, I mean, reserve your judgment.
Wait for the audiobook.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, as I say, the first draft. I was so proud because my deadline was July 1st to get my first draft in. And July 1st. Was that Canada then? Well, how appropriate then. July 1st, the disc went right into the, so I was very happy about that. Those of you who have heard this before, you're going to hear new stuff. Those of you who, just say like heard the last year's, because every time it gets changed, because I'm constantly rewriting. And it's at situations like this where I'll be reading and I'll hear something and I'll think, oh man, that's, cool, yeah, no, that's not right. So I have to restrain myself from doing that in the middle of reading here. So, anyway, A Stitch in Time, Memoirs of the Cardassian Two. Prologue. My dear Doctor, forgive my delay in responding to your kind communications. I wanted to give this modest chronicle I've enclosed some modicum of organization before I sent it on to you. Thank you for your concern. I've thought of you often since our last meeting, and I'm pleased to hear that your life on Deep Space Nine remains challenging and productive. Considering all the changes that have taken place, I would have expected nothing less. And I'm certainly not surprised that your research proposals have been accepted. You're a brilliant young scientist, even if you are genetically enhanced. As for my life here, it's the dust. Oh, I can live with the rubble. I can live with the survivors who move like holographic phantoms and spend every waking hour scavenging for whatever would keep them alive. I can even live with the stench of the corpses that litter the broken streets, waiting in grotesque poses, waiting to be transported to mass graves. But it's the dust that suffocates me and challenges my sanity. It clogs my nose, blurs my sight. My mouth is filled with a chalky paste that food and drink, scarce commodities, only thicken. We exist in a penumbral world where every shape and sound is blurred and muffled by this restless cloud of dust that refuses to settle and chokes my every breath. Yes, Doctor, I have returned home. The only house I've ever known has been reduced to rubble. Fortunately, the little outbuilding in the back where Tolan stored his landscaping implements is still standing, and I've been able to clear a path to it and make a small place for myself inside. Indeed, as I'm writing this, I'm sitting here with the door open to make it feel larger. It's an ironic view I command. The dust and rubble of the home of Inabran Tain, the man who attempted to destroy the Founders' home world. The Founders had indeed exacted a Cardassian justice. And then there's the added irony of my own homecoming, Doctor, and finding nothing but Tolan's tools and shed. An irony I think you will fully appreciate when you finish reading this recollection. Yes, I'm afraid you weren't expecting this response to your kind inquiry. It goes a bit farther than greetings from Cardassia. Wish you were here. It seems I'm arrogant enough to believe that not only is this collection of reminiscences not an imposition, but something that might actually interest you. I began writing this last year when Captain Sisko invited me to join the initial invasion of Cardassia, an event I wasn't sure I'd survive. My fondest wish at that time, as you well know, was to free my homeland from Dominion tyranny, and here I am, a survivor in a liberated Cardassia, but a Cardassia haunted by the souls of countless millions slaughtered, who the form of this dust cloud that constantly swirls and shrieks across this wasteland, vainly searching for a peaceful place to rest. It's almost as if my homecoming has come at their expense. Part 1, Chapter 1. To Dr. Julian Bashir, Chief Medical Officer of Deep Space Nine. Entry. How odd you humans are. Or is it just the Starfleet people? Captain Sisko has just invited me to join the invasion of Cardassia, for which I am eternally grateful. The opportunity to liberate my homeland renews and animates my sluggish spirit. But the good captain makes no mention of the fact that this invasion is now possible because of the incident with the Romulans. I'm simply to report to his office at 0900 hours with ideas as to where the Dominion defense perimeter might be vulnerable. Oh, our dealings with each other are nothing less than proper. And Mr. Garak, Captain Sisko. But what's so odd is that he pretends the incident never happened, and you and I both know how deeply affected he was by the whole business. Only when we exchange direct looks do I perceive a flicker of what? Anger? Betrayal? Violation? Humans seem to walk through life's infinite variety of relationships and situations and take it all at face value. They rarely look behind the facade or the mask where the real intentions, the truth of our motives live. And the fact is, more often than not, they deny that they have any mask at all. These humans, and I do exclude you, Doctor, which I will come to shortly, believe that what they present to the world, and conversely, what the world presents to them, is the truth. It's this belief that makes them dangerous. See, in Cardassian society, we are taught from an early age to mask all thoughts and feelings, to deflect all outside perception and observation. The objective of this education is to create a citizen who can work within the group to accomplish a group goal established by the leader, and at the same time work in such a way that none of the other members of the group knows what he or she is doing. As long as the goal is accomplished, it's nobody's business how you went about your work. So why Captain Sisko is so upset with me because I accomplished the goal which he established of getting Romulus into the war against the Dominion. Baffles me. And it's not because of the few lives that were sacrificed. Dominion, well, Federation expansion has taken the toll of countless life forms, most of which they are blissfully unaware. The moment you step into a garden and begin to cultivate and prune, you become a killer. Perhaps the captain was upset because he hesitated to do what was necessary to ensure the integrity of his garden. Sentimentality is the other trait that makes humans dangerous. But why am I writing this to you instead of waxing philosophically over one of our lectures? I can see that polite, overly polite smile. You're get to the point, Garak, Max. Be patient, dear doctor. First, let me explain why I exempt you from this human bondage to appearance and sentiment. As much as the subject irritates you, you've not been so much genetically enhanced as arranged. The people who did this to you had specific reasons which you have long since outlived. Subsequently, you have accommodated yourself to this arrangement according to the demands of your life. For me, this means that, in a sense, you are more Cardassian than human, which is why I am able to share this document with you, and why I sat down to lunch with you in the first place. Now, before you cringe in horror at the thought of being a Cardassian, let me give you